Welcome back. Happy to see you all. This morning, I'd like to begin by telling an old African story. So, there was a man in Africa who had a wonderful herd of cattle. And cattle were both the wealth in his community, but more than that, they were also the source of nourishment and the source of goodness and the expression of kind of human cultivation with the natural world. They represented everything beautiful. But he was a little possessive of his cattle, so rather than keeping them out where everyone else let their cattle to graze, he found a beautiful clearing deep in the forest. Now it so happened that this forest was named Dukkha Dukkha Dukkha. That was the forest. And the reason the forest was named Dukkha 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 was that it was a very deep, dark forest, and that's how your heart went as you entered it. It was that deep and that dark. So, and in this forest, Dukkha Dukkha Dukkha, in this beautiful clearing, he would go every day and milk his cows after they had been grazing. And he noticed at one point that the milk started to dry up. And so he gathered the most beautiful sweet grasses that he could to supplement what was in this cleared meadow, and he fed them everything. And he loved his cows and he massaged his cows, but milk was drying up. And then it occurred to him that maybe someone is stealing the milk. So he went into the Dukkha 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 forest at night to sleep with his cattle. And it was a clear starry night, and in the middle of the starry night, one of the stars and then another and then another and another got brighter and brighter, and they started to come down toward the earth. And as they got near the clearing of his most beautiful cattle, they turned into a succession of young star maidens with baskets. And these baskets were the African baskets. They are so tightly woven that they can hold water, or in this case, milk. And apparently the stars have all kinds of wonderful things, but they don't have milk. So these beautiful maidens were coming down with their baskets and milking the cows and then taking that delicious milk back to the stars. So he waited and he watched with his eyes really wide. And after they were just about finished milking, he just ran out and he grabbed the arm of one of these beautiful maidens. And the others just fled away. And he said to her, I see you really love the milk from my cows. And she said, yes, I do indeed. So he said, so how about we make some exchange here? I've been looking for a wife to share these beautiful cows with me and my life here. How about if you stay? I've never seen someone as beautiful as you, and obviously there's something here that attracts you. So will you marry me? And she agreed, and so she stayed. She had to go back to the stars for a short time and came back, and she said she had one condition. And that is that I bring with me this basket for milk and one other basket, a beautiful basket with a little cover on it. And she said, I think we can live very, very happily, but you must not look into the basket with the cover on it. And I will stay with you and marry you. That was such a hard offer to refuse, right? So they were wedded quite happily for quite some time. And then one day, he had been out working very hard, gathering sweet grass for the cattle and doing various things. And he came back to their house and noticed that the wife, she was also out doing something, and there was the basket sitting there. And he thought to himself, she is my wife, this is my house. It's my basket. We share everything. So he just walked over and he said, we've been married, we've been happy. What's the problem? I'm curious, what's in this basket? So he walked over to it and he pulled the top of the basket off and he looked inside. And when he did, he laughed and he laughed because there was nothing in the basket. And so she came home a little later that afternoon and she saw that, he had a kind of smirk on his face, some kind of a new expression, and he was just chuckling to himself. Then she looked at him and she said, "Oh dear," she said, "have you looked in the basket?" And he paused for a minute and laughed. And he said, "Yes, I looked in the basket. I mean, there was nothing in there. What's the big secret? I looked in. It's okay." And tears began to weep down her cheeks. And she said that if you couldn't see what was in that basket, you don't understand. Because what that basket carries is the spirit that I brought down from the star world to illuminate our lives. And if you just laugh and say there's nothing in it, I'm sorry, I cannot stay with you. And as the night fell, she disappeared with her baskets and went back to the stars. End of the story. Now, when one listens to these old stories, there's a kind of wisdom in them that can be found. They are kind of the symbols for this human life that we've been given. And you will find yourself drawn to some symbol in these old stories. Each time you hear it, it might be different. You might be feeling, if you were to place yourself in the story, you might be one of the beautiful cows. Or you might be one of her sisters or the starlight. Or you might be walking into Dukkha 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 forest, the great forest, Or you might connect yourself to the spirit, the soul that's in the basket. Or the person, you might be the person who laughs and then realizes, "Oh, I've made such a great mistake." Or you might be the person who broke their promise. Or the person who feels betrayed by another. So these stories speak on a deep way to us, and you can reflect as you hear them. What's my place in that story? Now, this beautiful story tells the truth. And the truth is that everything is wedded to nothing, to that basket of nothing, of spirit, or emptiness, or void, or zero state, or soul, or whatever language we find for it. So it speaks of the fact that if we just look at our physical bodies, they're just a food body. That at the moment somebody dies, the same body is there, but then something happens. All of a sudden, it's just a corpse. It's nothing. Who are you in there? Are you this body? Who was born in this body? So in the Heart Sutra, the teaching is that form is not different than emptiness, and emptiness is not different than form. Form is empty, emptiness is form. That which is form is empty, and that which is emptiness is form. And if we can understand this, we'll be free in this world. Or in so many of the Buddhist texts, they begin like this: "O nobly born, you who are the sons and daughters of the Buddha, remember these words. Remember the clear light, the pure clear light from which everything in the universe comes, and to which everything in the universe returns. The original nature of your own heart and mind, the natural state. Let go into this clear light, trust it, Merge with it. It's your own true nature. It is home. So, these are some of the teachings and the essence of the Heart Sutra that I've summarized in 2 minutes. And it's true. We are not just this physical body or a sensual body, but we forget it, don't we? Everything comes out of this void, out of the silence before words and action and experience, and it's quite mysterious. Now we live in a materialistic culture, we are surrounded by it. And from that, our perception can become quite one-sided, like the fellow in the story, filled with the things we have, the stuff we have to do, the stuff we make our responsibilities, our cows basically. Our house, our car, our computers, our mortgage, the stock market, whatever it is. And that is why so often and sometimes people go off to the temples and monasteries and monks and nuns and priests and gurus to remember that that's not the only essential reality. But we live in a world that's limited by the collective perceptions, and we forget that underneath this is consciousness itself, that which gives birth to the world, that who we really are moves behind and in all of this. Rabindranath Tagore, he said, most people believe the mind to be a mirror, more or less accurately reflecting the world outside of them, not realizing that on the contrary, the fact is that the mind itself is the creation or the principal element of creation. So when we come to sit and meditate, whether we are relatively new or done it for some time, we sit to awaken to these truths, to listen to the state of the heart, to that spirit that's behind all the actions, to remember the timeless reality of the spirit, the one who knows our true nature. In its true state, in another great Buddhist text, it says, mind is naked, immaculate, empty, containing all things and yet not limited by them. It's timeless, transparent being of the voidness that gives birth to all. So to know if this is so or not, look directly into your mind, to your own experience. And the Buddha said that it's within this body and mind that all the teachings of sorrow and suffering and the end of sorrow and suffering, of joy and liberation are to be found. And the invitation is to awaken to the spirit that was carried in that basket. And it doesn't mean we have to leave and go someplace else. This is the place of the spirit. Even the stars come down to have our milk. And I'm going to share another story. This is a story, Jack Cornfield wrote about this story. He's a Buddhist teacher and a writer, and he shared a story. He wrote about it of a Catholic father and a spiritual teacher who he interviewed for one of his books. And I'm going to read what the Catholic father said to him, and he put it in this way. He said, I came from a poor white family where we drank and lived hard. The men treated the body like a truck that you used and ignored. And in the church, it got worse. I hated to deal with my body, so I lived on coffee, then on scotch. Gradually, as I looked at the simple people who came to talk to me and saw how many tortured bodies there were, as well as tortured souls, my faith and love got past all that stupid stuff about sin in the body and the church. It doesn't have to be so hard, I realized. I realized that Christ taught that I had to love my enemy. And so I took a vow of non-violence, and this included my body. So he writes that my practice became do not torment myself, do not escalate the pain. And I began to teach it to others. And it turned into a practice of gratefulness and gratitude. And I get up in the morning and take care of my body. That is where I start. It's poignant how simple it is. Or how this Spanish poet, he's written this beautiful exquisite poem. The name of the poet is Antonio Machado, and it's called The Wind, One Brilliant Day. I'm going to read it to you. The wind, one brilliant day, called to my soul with an odor of jasmine. In return for the odor of my jasmine, I'd like all the odor of your roses. I have no roses. All the flowers in my garden are dead. Well, then, I will take the withered petals and the yellow leaves and the waters of the fountain. The wind left, and I wept, and I said to myself, what have you done with the garden that was entrusted to you? What have you done with the garden that was entrusted to you? So we are here in this embodied mystery, the beauty of this embodied mystery. How did you get in here to be embodied? To incarnate is to live within a certain reality of beauty, the milk, the cattle, the sunset, the bay leaves that you can smell as you walk across the meadow, and also the reality of aging and sickness. You know, the messiness and complexity of human experience. And the more we open ourselves to it, the more rich it is. Art and love, and irony and melancholy, and humor, and all the indescribable opposites. See, in our lives, what do we experience? There's harmony and peace, and injustice and racism and continuing warfare. We have weddings and divorces, we have wealth and poverty. So this is a strange realm that we are in. This human realm. And it is the realm of 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. So the idea in spiritual life, the invitation of spiritual life, of awareness, we could call it a secret attention, is not to hurry up or to fix or make this human realm perfect or better. Anybody succeed in that? Perfect yourself? Nor is it to ignore it, but rather to awaken to what is each day as it is, in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds, in our family, in our community, on this earth, to see it as it is, and to illuminate it with the heart, to illuminate it with our understanding and our compassion, to find that basket of spirit that is here, and let that spirit shine in this human realm. And we know that it's possible. In fact, it's one of the deepest of human longings to wed these worlds, to bring that shining starlight, that spirit, into our love relationships, into our work, our community, into our garden. And I really like this piece from Rumi. It's a very small piece. One night a man was crying, Allah, Allah, and his lips grew sweet with the praising until a cynic walked by and said, I've heard you calling out. Have you ever gotten any response? The man had no answer to that, and he quit praying, and he fell into a confused sleep. And he dreamed and he saw Qadir, the guide of souls, in a thick green foliage. Why did you stop praising? And the man said, because I never heard anything back. And the inner guide said, this longing you express is the return message. The grief you cry out from draws you toward union. Your pure sadness that wants help is the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog. For its master, that whining is the connection. And there are love dogs, thousands. No one knows the names of all of them. So give your life to be one of them. This longing, our very messy life, our love is the message that carries the spirit. So how to open to this mystery, to carry that beauty that we know, how to keep it alive, to bring it into life. That's really what our spiritual life is about. And that is why we undertake practices and the disciplines of meditation daily, or loving kindness, or praying, or coming together like we do on Saturday mornings, to remind ourselves that we can inhabit and tend and care for and illuminate and embody that beauty of the heart in this world. And when we take the time to meditate, to pray, to whatever your spiritual practice is, what we are doing is really listening, making the time to allow that which is true to awaken in us. And then we enter the work, the marketplace, and the shops, and arts, and business, and politics with a wise and a loving heart. And we understand that freedom is possible, not just there, but right here. In fact, it's the only place that freedom can be found. Not going away, not escaping, not distracting ourselves, not numbing ourselves, not avoiding running away, or being in a freeze, but being in the reality of the present with things as they are. That is the place of the freedom of the heart. Not going forward, as my teacher said, not going backwards and not standing still. Just being present to things as they are. So let your eyes close for a moment. And as we sit quietly, just a couple of questions for you to reflect on. The first reflection is to ask yourself whether it is the baskets or the cows that need tending in your life. Whether it is the earth and your own body in the form of things, or whether it is the spirit, that invisible spirit that illuminates. Secondly, reflect on your own spiritual practice. And what is it that steadies and returns your heart, your knowing, that awakens you in the midst of this life, that brings the spirit illuminating as you move through this world. What nourishes that? It's an amazing thing just to be alive as a human being and not hungry or without shelter and food and so forth. To be alive and blessed in many of the ways that we are. Even though we each have our struggles and we are fighting our battles. And to be able to awaken so that life is not simply getting through it, but to sense this mystery and the beauty of the Spirit and bring it to all that we touch. Keep your eyes closed. Let's invoke for blessings. Hand on your heart. We invoke the blessings of God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, for divine protection, for divine guidance, for help, a clear mind, for understanding of the teachings, the lessons, the practices. We humbly invoke for the blessings of humility, the stimulation of the good things in us. We humbly invoke for the blessings of divine love, oneness, and intuition. May divine love, light, and beauty be our daily breath and thought. And let light, love, and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you to all the great spiritual teachers of all traditions, all lineages, all wisdom traditions, all the holy gurus, the world teachers. We are grateful for your love, blessings of protection, for your help. To all the holy masters and the great, great teachers, the great, great beings, we are grateful for your blessings. Holy angels, we are grateful. All the spiritual helpers, the guides, we are grateful. To our divine self, our higher soul, we are grateful for the blessings. We thank you. In full faith, thank you. I want you to keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Gently lower your hands on your lap, palms facing upwards. Imagine yourself as a small diamond. You are a precious spiritual being symbolized as a diamond. And imagine this diamond inside a golden sphere. Now be aware of each one of us inside that golden sphere. A spiritual group. At a distance, imagine an indigo sphere, which is the energy of all the great, great beings, all the spiritual teachers, the holy gurus, holy masters. Now imagine the golden sphere slowly moves towards this indigo sphere or dark blue violet sphere and gradually merges with it. Om. the blessings of the teachers, our holy gurus, our masters, whoever you believe in, blessings of all the higher beings, all our teachers and our group energy merge. Now visualize a golden door. Imagine the group is in front of a golden door, and the door opens, and then each one of us enter. And imagine you're turning to the right. There's a long hallway. At the end of the hallway, there are 3 windows. One straight ahead opens to the north. To your right, there's a window that opens to the east. And to your left is a window which opens to your west. Now just imagine you are turning slowly and you face the eastern window. And there is a spiritual teacher, your inner guide, your inner guru waiting, and the teacher rises and also turns towards the east, turns around facing the eastern window. Now I want you to raise your hands at the chest level in blessing position. Imagine the earth in front of you the size of a small ball. And all of us, everybody is going to release the blessing through the eastern window and spread the blessing throughout the earth. And I'm going to recite the great invocation. And you may silently repeat the prayer after me. Or you may just listen. The great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all human beings. Let light descend throughout earth. Imagine divine light, beautiful golden light, descending to the earth and spreading to your country, going into your homes, the town, the village, the city where you're living in, the neighborhoods, spreading throughout your country to different countries, continents, and throughout the earth, blessing all the people with light, divine light. Beautiful golden light. Just visualize it permeating your being, your home, your family, your work, your neighborhood, the surrounding areas, your city, your country, and then see it permeating the entire earth, every person, every being, blessed with light, divine light. The oceans, the forests, the atmosphere, the animals, the minerals, the beings in the air, the beings on the earth, in the soil. From the point of love, within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all people. Let love descend throughout the earth. Now imagine blessings of divine love, beautiful, brilliant pink light descending to your home, blessing your family, your loved ones, the neighborhood, the town, the village, the city where you're living in, spreading throughout your country to different countries and throughout the earth. So be it. Now just chant Om to spread the energy. Om. Om. And keep this visualization of divine love to you, the soul, and your entire being, to your loved ones, your home, your neighborhood, your city, your country, and then spreading to different countries and then throughout the earth. This brilliant, beautiful, blazing pink light. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of human beings, the purpose which the masters and the spiritual hierarchy know and serve. Now just be aware of the energy of goodwill. And in terms of light, it's a beautiful electric violet light. It's a beautiful luminous white light with sparkles of blue and violet in the periphery. Like the lightning or like the sparklers that we use during Diwali. That's the color. That's the energy of goodwill. And visualize the energy of goodwill descending to the area between your eyebrows, your Agnya chakra. Filling up your whole being. And then through your hands descending to your home, goodwill to your family, your loved ones, goodwill to your neighbors, your town, your village, your city in which you live, goodwill to your country, and goodwill spreading to different countries, goodwill spreading throughout the earth. This electric violet light, radiant, luminous white light with sparkles of blue and violet in the periphery. Goodwill, the will to do good, the will to help one another, the will to support one another. Goodwill, friendliness, harmony. Om. From the center which we call humanity, let the plan of love and light descend on earth, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. We invoke for divine love and understanding. So be it. And just visualize a beautiful golden light with sparkles of pink descending throughout the earth. May all tendencies of war, of conflict, of cruelty, of violence, of destruction, may all of these evil manifestations be eliminated from the surface of the earth. Just think of the whole earth and places or countries where there is war. Om. Saturate all those places and countries with this beautiful golden light with sparkles of blazing pink in the periphery. And then let this light spread throughout the entire earth. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So be it. So be it. So be it. Now keep blessing the earth, imagining light from your hands going to the earth. Take your time. Try to visualize as clearly as you can that the energy field around the earth, the aura of the earth, is becoming brighter. Visualize the aura of your country becoming brighter. Visualize the aura of your home becoming brighter. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Let light, love, and power restore the plan on your home and your loved ones. And imagine the place you're staying in is surrounded with this beautiful light. Take your time. Visualize it clearly. And now imagine you and your family members, you and your loved ones are enveloped with divine light. Surrounded with light, surrounded with love. Take your time, visualize it clearly. Divine love watches over all of you. Divine love is holding you and your loved ones, your family, your friends. So be it. Very gently bring your hands back to your lap, palms facing upwards. And know and believe that there is a miraculous healing power within you which made you. This infinite healing presence is going through you right now, vitalizing, energizing, cleansing, purifying your whole being. So that your whole being, your body, your heart, your mind and spirit dances to the rhythm of the Supreme God, the universal consciousness, the source of all. It's like you're sitting midway between the heaven and the earth. receiving the blessings from above and firmly and deeply connected to Mother Earth. Receiving your nourishment. It's like you are like an inverted tree. You have the roots above you, receiving the blessings, healing energies on all levels, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, ethically and physically, and financially. And then you're deeply rooted and connected to Mother Earth. You're abundant, you're prosperous, you're healthy, you're alive. You're bountiful, you're blissful. You are the self. That self are you. You are whole. Okay? Very gently open your eyes and come back to your physical waking consciousness, to your physical body. And may you take the time this week to quiet the mind and open the heart and let that spirit shine in you and what you touch and do. May you be well, may you be at ease, and may you bring smiles to all those you touch. Atma Namaste.